5:30.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. As families continue to recover from an EF3 tornado in Taylor County, several community organizations have banded together to help out through it all. Adam Burniston spoke with county leaders about the recovery in that part of the state.
In the past 2 weeks since an EF3 tornado tore through Taylor County, destroying 70 properties and displacing dozens of families, cleanup continues with leftover debris being pushed into piles. While that work continues, several of the displaced families have been getting extra help by several organizations, including the Red Cross.
Some don't have long-term places to stay, so they're looking now to maybe place them in homes or somewhere where they'll have extended stay till they get their houses built. And there is some houses already started going back up. I mean, it's amazing.
Now, Smith tells me while there have been many organizations from out of state helping with recovery efforts here in Taylor County, he says there have also been several churches and even community members serving from within the county, helping families recover, whether it's with free meals or even supplies.
We feed them Monday through Friday. Our local churches have come together. Now on weekends we have food trucks out in the parking lot. This is all free, all free. Everything you see in there, all the water, everything has been donated.
Smith also says the county has been especially grateful for the continued stream of supplies and donations coming in from all over as they work to rebuild what has been lost.
We have a warehouse that we just started today, and it's going to be just full. I mean, Three Trees Church is full. I mean, everything we got just about is full now.
In Taylor County, meteorologist Adam Burniston, WKYT.
Tornado victims in Taylor County are eligible to apply for FEMA assistance. Eubank in Pulaski County is hoping a new traffic light at US 27 and Highway 70 will help stop crashes in that area. People living there asked the state to install the light after several deadly crashes. Mayor Eddie Hicks stopped by the intersection this afternoon and hopes this change will do some good. Amber Hill with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says this intersection of US Route 27 and Kentucky Route 70 has had their engineers exploring alternative options like adding signage and more.
You know, it's been one that we've looked at for quite a while because of the crash history that's behind the intersection. You know, it's going to take some time for people to get used to. And like I said, we just want people to use extreme caution as they go through it, you know, and as they approach the intersection, and always be prepared.
Hale added that other crews will be coming in to paint turn signals on the pavement and put the finishing touches on the intersection.
Plenty of clouds around the region as we head into our Monday evening. That's keeping things a little bit milder outside. As we've gone through today, even without sunshine, we're pretty mild outside. I-64 at Moorhead, you see, we're mostly dry. We had what little moisture was on the roadway there has evaporated. We continue to dry out there for now. Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County, sun maybe trying to peek out a little bit into the low 60s right now at Buffalo Mountain. Temperatures around the region a little bit cooler the further south you go. 60 Harlan, 59 Williamsburg. Contrast that with what we got going on in the Big Sandy and further north. 65 Prestonsburg, Pikeville, and 67 right now into Ashland. Breezy as well, 5 to 10 miles per hour, gusting upwards of 20 at times around the region. Couple of showers trying to push through portions of southern Perry County, through Leslie, Harlan counties, even down into the far southern parts of Clay and into Knox and Bell counties right now. Maybe even sneaking on into portions of Whitley County. Not a whole lot there going on, but we're going to continue to watch things as they push on off to the east over the next few hours. Could provide a few sprinkles around the Kentucky-Virginia border heading through the next few minutes. Mid-50s out there tonight. Showers continue as those breezes start to calm down, but it's going to be a rather mild night as a rather mild week continues. I'll have the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. President Biden signed the annual defense funding bill into law today. The National Defense Authorization Act cleared Congress earlier in December. The measure includes changes to the military justice system to revamp how the military deals with sexual assault and harassment. There's also a 2.7% pay raise for military service members and Defense Department civilian employees. Other provisions include a commission to examine the war in Afghanistan after the U.S. withdrawal and $300 million in military aid to the Ukrainian Security Assistance Initiative. Sarah Weddington, a lawyer in the landmark Roe v. Wade case, has died at the age of 76. A former student says Weddington died in her sleep at her Austin home after battling health issues for some time. In 1971, she successfully argued for legal abortion in front of the Supreme Court twice. Weddington went on to serve in the Texas House of Representatives and later as the General Counsel for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. She also served as an assistant to President Jimmy Carter. Director and producer Jean-Marc Vallée, who won an Emmy for directing the hit HBO series Big Little Lies, and whose 2013 drama Dallas Buyers Club earned 6 Oscar nominations, has died at the age of 58. His representative says Vallée died suddenly in his cabin outside Quebec City, Canada over the weekend. The Canadian filmmaker was acclaimed for his naturalistic approach to filmmaking, directing stars including Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Amy Adams, and Jake Gyllenhaal during the past decade. The Christmas weekend may be over, but the demand for COVID-19 testing is not. Today, President Biden vowed to help states get more rapid tests out quickly and deal with the surge in cases due to the highly contagious Omicron variant. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has more from the White House.
The shortage of take-home tests in some stores and long lines at testing sites left state governors and the White House scrambling to meet the demand.
Seeing how tough it was for some folks to get a test this weekend shows that we have more work to do.
In a meeting with his COVID response team and a bipartisan group of governors, President Biden repeated plans to distribute 500 million rapid COVID tests starting next month.
There is no federal solution. This gets solved at a state level. If you need something, say something. And we're going to have your back in any way we can.
The president denied a Vanity Fair report that his administration rejected a plan back in October to ramp up those rapid tests. And he said that, quote, they would have gone harder and quicker on those tests had he known.
Daily COVID cases have spiked to more than 176,000, the highest in nearly a year.
We are seeing breakthrough infections at pretty high numbers, less if you're boosted, but even among the boosted.
Meanwhile, calls for the CDC to shorten its recommended isolation period from 10 days for those who test positive are also growing. Last week, the agency said healthcare workers can return to work after 7 days if they show no symptoms and test negative.
5 days followed with a test that's negative should be pretty reasonable for letting people stop isolation.
When asked, President Biden said he will follow the recommendation from his medical team. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden says private insurance reimbursements for take-home tests could begin in 2 weeks. Testing is underway for a second COVID booster at a hospital in Israel. A test group of 150 medical staff received a 4th dose of the coronavirus vaccine. The country is considering offering a second booster to vulnerable people in an effort to stay on pace with the new variant.
Hopefully, we'll be able to show here that this 4th booster really provides protection against the Omicron, which is highly needed.
Starting tomorrow, Germany is imposing new restrictions on gathering sizes and closing nightclubs ahead of New Year's Eve. Scientists have discovered dozens of rogue planets floating in the Milky Way. The astronomers spotted the Jupiter-sized planets using sensitive cameras on a number of large telescopes around the world. The planets are considered rogue because they don't have a nearby star or sun to illuminate them, but are still hot enough to glow. Researchers say there are at least 70 of them free-floating 420 light years away from Earth, but there could be as many as 170. They believe there could be even more rogue planets in the galaxy, including some that are the size of Earth. If you're thinking about investing, those used Legos might be the way to go. Researchers at a Russian university looked at the rates of return when it came to collecting toys. They found high-value collectibles proved to be a better investment than gold, art, or financial securities. They noted retired Lego sets that sold on secondary markets saw prices grow by 11% annually. That's faster than the rates for gold, stocks, and bonds. According to researchers, those who invest in Legos long-term can yield positive results 2 to 3 years after retirement. Well, today we celebrate an often reviled and unappreciated traditional holiday food because it is National Fruitcake Day. While the origin of the day itself is not known, fruitcakes themselves go all the way back to ancient Rome. In the original recipe, Romans used pomegranate seeds, pine nuts, and raisins. As years passed, fruitcake makers added honey, spices, and preserved fruits. Many traditional recipes include liqueurs or brandy, but most mass-produced fruitcakes are alcohol-free. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the Biden administration extends a pause on federal student loan payments, but the long-term burden remains for millions of people.
It still feels like spring outside this afternoon, and that should continue through the week. The very latest from Future View, straight ahead.